Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very early episode this week of Nintendo Pow Block. This is episode 202. I am your host, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is at that retro code.
Pew, 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 pew.
Eddie B.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Ed?
Yes.
It's a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday. And we're here. We're casting a pod, as they say.
Yes, it's a terrific Tuesday.
Is that what they can say? We cast a pod? I don't know.
I don't know.
Look, man.
Do kids even podcast?
Do you even podcast, man? Do you even podcast? Yeah. No, I don't know why we just did that. So, how are you, Ed? I feel like it's been a while since it's just been us two on this show, to be honest with you.
I've been great. I've been doing a lot of writing, so trying to do my best to get through The Last of Us Part 2. Man, this game is long. Yeah,
I heard somebody said, everybody I've heard say it's a great game, but it's about 10 hours too long.
Yeah.
Which was my complaint for Uncharted 4. So.
Exactly. It's one of those things that I understand what they're trying to do. I understand they're trying to tell a big and grand story, but I think because of the gameplay is so repetitive and the gameplay is a little bit repetitive, and I'm just like, it feels like it takes such a long place to get to where you need to be at for no apparent reason. Mm-hmm. It's just like, this could have been shorter, and there is some inconsistencies and some kind of like, no, you actually could have went that way to get there, so y'all didn't have to go do this, but because you need some action and you to fight enemies, you put it in. But I'm doing my best. I'm trying to get through it so I can do a review for Boss Rush. I really am trying to get it done before Paper Mario and Ghost of Tsushima, because those two games are like my main objective with Okami HD, to really get through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff.
Speaking of book club stuff, I've been trying to get through Tomb Raider as fast as possible, and let me tell you, it's been a real trip. So yeah, it's dude, Tomb Raider's great. Let me tell you what.
It is.
I have to tell you, man, it's so good. It's so good.
Can I tell you I kind of like the survival mode of Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like really having a good time with it. I mean, it's challenging, but it kind of feels like, man, this is still easier, and it may be because of what how many times I played this game, and since I'm doing on 1S, it's not really that hard. I'm like, this game is not that difficult in any setting, but I think it'll probably ramp up once I get closer to the end, the ending and stuff. Because right now I'm just doing like side things, but I'm really having a good time. And definitely now, since I'm also doing Shadow of the Tomb Raider on PS4, I'm kind of like, I had to put that on hold because of The Last of Us Part 2. But I definitely am going to jump back in. I'm going to finish it, and I might actually go and do survival mode. I might have to do survival mode also on Xbox One. Or just go ahead and do it, because I'm like, I think I have a better progress on Xbox One than PlayStation. But yeah, I'm just like, dude, I kind of want to thank you for letting us play Definitive Tomb Raider, because it got me into that bug of playing the series all over, and I completely enjoy it. I'm loving this again. I guess, yeah, playing it on higher difficulty, actually seeing it with my TV and HDR and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that detail wise, there's a lot of stuff that I miss.
Yeah. I mean, as I've been playing, I've been realizing how awesome that series is and how underrated it is, right? Like, it's just so, it feels like nobody like really gives that game a chance anymore, you know? And it's funny because we were gonna play Link to the Past or Link's Awakening
Yes.
on Switch, the remake, and I was like, at the last minute, I was like, you know what, I kind of want to play Tomb Raider again, and I'm like 2/3 of the way through it. I think I'm probably a little bit farther. So the next 2 nights probably play a bunch of that. So it's just one of those games that's really interesting and really underrated, especially
Hmm.
in a world of like Uncharted and The Last of Us and Gears and just all these third person action games. I felt like this whole generation, like Tomb Raider has gotten lost. Like, first of all, you know, it it came out the first one came out at the tail end of 360 and PS3.
Yes.
And then they remastered it, and then Rise of the Tomb Raider got caught up in that Fallout and Microsoft kerfuffle, right? Where it was a
Right.
Xbox exclusive. Was it? Was it not? It came out a year later. All that kind of stuff, and then
It
and then
to Oh, go ahead.
and then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They kind of two developers worked on that game, and people were like, "Well, Rise is clearly the best, whatever." And I actually think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the best one,
Mm.
but yeah, man, that series is so good. It's so good. So,
Yeah, I and I think people are. It's kind of weird because some people are going through Tomb Raider like just as a series, and it's just like make sure that you go through the modern runs versus the past, because I think for some reason like these modern ones really define what Tomb Raider is, and they just do it so much better than the past games. Like to me personally, it's hard to go back to those older games. Like I can't go back to the first three Tomb Raider games that came out on PS1. I just can't. I just can't.
yeah, I mean, I would like to go back and play like Legend and
Hmm.
uh, Anniversary and Underworld at some point, right? Just for fun, but at the same time, I'm like, well, is it really worth going back to those? Like, is it because like those are so antiquated and old, and like Legends was good at the time, right? But
Yes.
that was like a I don't really know what you call it, right? Like it was definitely like a I don't know, like a flash in the pan of like, here's classic Tomb Raider, but here's an idea of what we want to do, but it's still kind of classic and clunky and whatever. And man, that remake or that reboot was just so good, man. It was so good.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm really glad that we're playing it for book club. But other than that, I kind of want to give an update on our schedule. Ed and I were kind of talking beforehand, um, where, Ed, you and me were kind of talking about when our shows were going to post. Um, I don't really care to post Nintendo Pow Block on the weekends because everybody posts their podcasts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I feel like not that our numbers are bad or anything, but I feel like sometimes Pow Block gets lost in the shuffle with all of our other things
Hmm.
coming out during the week, and then a lot of people post their podcasts on the weekends, and so I think Nintendo Pow Block on podcast feeds is going to move to Monday. We're still going to do our live show on Thursday. We're still going to get into the retro game show and indie masterclass afterwards. But I think it fits better on a Monday. I feel like that's just moving it there makes sense. And then it also allows me to edit everything on the weekend, all the stuff that we record during the week on the weekend. So Nintendo Pow Block's going to come out on Monday. Boss Rush podcast on Tuesday. Arsenal X is going to stay on Wednesday. Tower Casuals on podcast feed is moving to Thursdays, although the live show is still going to be on Mondays. And then Friday is going to be 1v1. So, which is getting its own feed. It should be up on podcast feeds by the time you hear this on your podcast feed. So this will probably be the first episode that posts on Monday, I think. So
Yes.
yeah. So also this week we're not having a normal Boss Rush podcast either. The reason why we're recording this on Tuesday is because Thursday we're having our Women of Gaming panel hosted by Celeste.
Yay.
We kind of had a conversation about it, and she kind of said sure, so I just kind of went with it. It wasn't confirmed, but I kind of just confirmed it now, and I know she's just kind of watching in the chat because I see the users in the chat, and I know she's watching. So hi, Celeste. Hi.
Hi, Celeste.
So yeah, surprise.
And that really should be a great discussion.
Oh yeah, we have 5 great women on that show. We have an ex-Mixer partner who has recently moved homes. We have a Twitch streamer on there. We have, obviously, Celeste is on there. Celeste is in the chat, just said hello. So, we have MJ, the author that I interviewed for 1v1 last week, I think. And then, Nelly is a Black writer and content creator. So very excited, very diverse.
Yes, which was a great 1v1, I must say. I enjoy NJ.
Thank you. Yeah, she was fun.
Yes.
So, gotta get her on here with Celeste to talk
Zelda.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a good time. I want to get the whole Another Zelda podcast crew on the show at some point and just have a massive massive show about Zelda.
Yes. I kind of would love to revisit history of Zelda. Like where was everybody at when a particular Zelda game came out?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I want to talk to all those guys. I've been really bad at reaching out just because we've been kind of busy, and to be honest, I've been streaming a lot lately, trying to get back into that. I've been kind of remotivated to do that, so I haven't even I have this nice big TV in the living room, and my Xbox has been sitting here on this 21-inch monitor. So, whoops. So yeah, man, I think some exciting things are happening here with Boss Rush. I hope we have more people follow Boss Rush on Twitch. We're still having that discussion on where we want to push people, but for now, Twitch is kind of a decent place. We're still trying to figure out if Facebook gaming is worth exploring. YouTube, obviously, we're going to restream to YouTube as well with that show. So if you are watching on YouTube, you're still going to be able to watch it live there as well. Yes, this show is on my personal Twitch channel because I was lazy and I'm streaming Destiny afterwards, and switching accounts is a nightmare, as Ed knows. So just decided to do it here tonight. So sorry, everybody. But yeah, man, it's exciting. We're not doing typical housekeeping. This is kind of we used to do a thing called quote unquote mini block, which was just a smaller episode about one particular topic. And, we're going to get there, but I want to ask Ed, how was your Pride panel that we just did?
Oh, my Pride. The Boss Rush Pride panel was everything in this. It was really fun to get to talk to all these content creators and, talk about coming out and just laughing, talking about Saints Row 3 and customization and Monster Hunter. And, it was really good to just, get in the nitty gritty with other LGBTQ content creators and really talk about how we experience games and, what we like about games, and the things that we love making when it comes to our content and how knowledgeable we are in different aspects of games and stuff. So it was a fun ride. It was almost 2.5 hours, but it was really good. Everybody was just on a level of laughing and having fun and really enjoying themselves. And I'm really happy that happened. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Jesse. I don't know how the chat was throughout it, but we literally was just having a ball. You literally could have put food in front of us and some drinks, and we would have had an outing, just cracking up. It kind of felt like we've all been friends for years, talking about stuff.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that, right? Like it felt like, I mean, I, to be fair, I would have any of them on our show any day of the week, right? Like they were all really
Yes.
awesome, but it was just really cool to see them all come together and just talk about, and just like the Black Lives Matter panel, like I learned so much, just by hanging out and modding the chat, but also just listening as just a fan. And it was really interesting, and I'm really happy that we did that. And I want to keep doing things like that. I think that these panels that we've started to do,
Mm-hmm.
they're important, and not just for us, but for people out there who want a voice, need a voice, have a voice, and don't really share it, right? Like I think it's important. So
Yeah.
I'm very happy. I'm very honored that we get to do these types of things. I'm glad that we're in a position to do these things, and I'm really interested in the women's panel because it's the first time one of us hasn't hosted something. you know, uh,
True.
you know,
But it's good. It's good to hear a woman's voice about gaming and narrative and just all of this stuff because we don't get a chance to hear that.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, we have Celeste on the show, right, when she's available now,
Yeah.
but at the same time, people love that. People love when she's on. To be on 100% honest, like every time, every time she's been on, our numbers have hit a spike. To be fair, so it's been fun to have her on too.
Yes.
But so on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Games Live and our YouTube channel, you can check out our women's panel live on Thursday. It will also be the podcast proper for that week since this weekend is the holiday. So yeah, I'm very excited for you guys to hear that. So
Yes.
the panelists include, as of this recording, unless schedules change, I get it. Schedules change, but it's hold on, let me pull up I need to pull up the chat because it's there's a lot of people in there. So we obviously have Celeste, right? We have Celeste. We have Nelly, who is a streamer, a fiction writer, and a freelance graphic designer. She also loves Resident Evil. We have MJ Kuhn, the author of Among Thieves, and she actually just wrote a really good blog on Mass Effect 3 on her website, so you should go check that out.
Yes.
We have Kim Chica, who's a streamer on Twitch. She plays a lot of indie games and story-based games. We have BU, who is a ex-Mixer partner, now moving to, I think she's moving to Twitch. Haven't confirmed that at all. I know she's kind of doing some stuff right now. So very full panel, very awesome panel. Cannot wait for that.
Yes.
Man, I feel like my voice is gone. I feel like I haven't stopped.
I really can't. And I brought that to you, Corey. I really can't wait to hear like a Destiny panel, a Boss vs Destiny panel, and not just outside of Towers Casual.
Yeah. Well,
like
actually, there is some news on that. Actually, Josh Finney, who does the show with me, we're planning to do like some lore stuff on the side of the show. Like you'll still get like a podcast every Thursday now, I guess Thursday, but like in between, you might get a random drop here or there of some sort of lore, some sort of story, some lore story, some stuff like that. So we are talking about doing that. I know it's something Josh is truly passionate about, is the Destiny lore, and I am too. But he's like
into it.
Yeah, like this is his hobby game, right? He knows almost everything there is to know about Destiny. If you know who My Name is Bife is, he's a huge Destiny lore guy.
Yes,
Josh is our Bife. So we just got to get his voice on some video. So that's something that we are planning as well. So I'm very excited for that. And yeah, man, we're gonna do a probably maybe not a panel, but some sort of bigger episode type thing where we talk about Destiny and just how it's kind of gone up, has its ups and downs, and our favorite parts of the game since launch. Maybe we'll do that like right before Beyond Light comes out, because I feel like updating the story for people who are just coming into the game at that point, or maybe haven't played in a year or two, like I feel like that's a good jumping on point, you know?
Like, yeah, and I guess that's why I was kind of thinking of the panel because of Beyond Light, like to really get like Destiny players together and just like, yeah, you guys talk about Destiny, because I'm like, you guys know stuff inside out that maybe a lot of us don't. And to watch and hear it, and because I'm still trying to learn Destiny. I'm still confused on a lot of things, and even though I'm not committed to playing the game like a lot of people, I would still tune in and listen and be like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's cool." I'm like, "How did I miss that?" and stuff. And it's just a memories thing and being committed. But I would love, because I think it'll be something definitely good for you, because you have a passion for Destiny. Same with Jesse. Like, if you wanted to do a Call of Duty panel, like the history of Call of Duty, I would love to hear that.
I would love to listen to Jesse talk about Call of Duty for an hour or an hour and a half or however long. I think that would be awesome. For real. Yeah. So, yeah. So those things are happening.
Yeah.
And yeah. Anyways, we're gonna move ahead here. Ed, you brought to my attention in the chat that Metroid developer Retro Studios is making a massive hire again from Black Ops, I think you said? A Black Ops veteran?
Yeah.
So that is a big talking point. This is kind of what our topic of the show is going to be. And like, to be honest with you, I like how this show's... I think I like how this show is going to go. It's not super structured. It's kind of flowy, you know, that kind of thing. So... you know, I kind of want our shows to be more like what we're doing now, just kind of laid back and discussing things. I don't know. I've said I've wanted to do that for a while, and then we just kind of drop back into our habits, I guess. And that's kind of on me, to be fair. So, you know, but anyways, Retro Studios has hired an art lead from Call of Duty. How do you feel about that?
I screamed, "What?"
The shooting's gonna feel good.
Yes, but what's crazy is that it took me a while to actually think of it. Be like, yes, Call of Duty is being part of Retro, but then there's also Battlefield, and it's just like two games, two IPs that have
two shooters that are like really on different ends of the military spectrum.
Yes. And yet compete in the space of gamers for people who want to buy it. And so it's just like they probably came together, whether they know each other or not. Them coming together definitely with Halo being involved with it in a sense. It's just, with Borderlands 3, it's just like, wow. I'm even looking at the story now.
Crisis 3,
Battlefield Hardlines, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Borderlands 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 4,
Halo, DC Universe Online, which makes me think that they might be trying some loot stuff, which, for better or for worse, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is the platformer section, which Retro is good at making level designs. So we may be getting some new stuff with that. I think the only thing that we don't have is anyone from Respawn, from the Titanfall team. Because I'm just like, if we just happen, don't know what part they would do with that, but if someone from Respawn came to Retro, you kind of got one of the biggest shooters to happen, whether it's successful or not. You got to think. I'm like, we got some main talent from for the biggest shooting IPs to make a really big game, whether it's big or small. Like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Borderlands, Crisis 3. Well, Titanfall will make it 5. Um, but it's just like, wow, like coming together to make this game. Like I said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm excited to see what they create.
Yeah.
And even if this game doesn't show up on Switch, but it shows up on Nintendo's next system, I would be fine with that. I'd be like, let this be the system seller.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like the Switch is going to last long enough for this game to end up here, obviously. But I also think like Metroid deserves, like, I think Metroid deserves its own space to shine, right? I think it's time for it to have Metroid put in the same spotlight that Zelda and Mario in, because as Nintendo fans we put it there, but as far as mainstream fans go, Metroid is not one of those games. Like it's just not, sadly. And I really want to see Metroid Prime come out there and be the game that it can be, right? Like I think it's such an important game. I think Metroid is such an important game to the to the space, to the system, to just the world of gaming in general, you know. And
I think Metroid hasn't lost its kind of design and footing the step. I think it was because there is a generation gap of gamers who grew up with Metroid. You know, Super Metroid was such a highlight, and just like it's one of those Nintendo staples that changed the industry in gaming. Just like Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time. There's been games in Nintendo's catalog that really changed gaming worldwide in a big way. And I think because Metroid Prime was the next step for the Metroid series, and it was on a system that not many thought was powerful, but yet people still have a love for and talk about. A lot of people, I think, when it came to first person shooters and stuff, I think is that online of Microsoft and Sony having that effect on gamers. So Metroid Prime doesn't fit in the mold of what first person shooters were with this during that generation was happening. And it's still kind of like it falls back to where people are still looking forward to Call of Duty or Battlefield or some of these big online multiplayer first person shooters, and Metroid doesn't fit that. Doesn't fit that that lane in a sense. The Prime series, Prime series,
right?
You know, with Metroid itself, because it's been so linear and it's been such a Nintendo game, a lot of people just don't see Nintendo as on their level of, or not level, as that's their style of gaming. So it doesn't become big in a lot of people's eyes, you know. But I think the thing with Metroid, and I kind of wrote this, like on my Twitter, I kind of be like, I think Other M made Team Ninja better, and it kind of outshines the modern Ninja Gaiden games altogether, all three of them, because it's just like, this is what happens when you get a camera right, and this is what happens when the action is simplified and easier to do than what.
I mean, I really think that Other M gets a bad rap. You know, I mean, I know there's that one game breaking bug and whatnot, but like, I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as everybody says it is, but I also feel that way about a lot of games. So, and I know that you feel that way about a lot of games too. So, I mean,
yes,
because somebody's going to stab you for saying that Metroid Other M is better than Ninja Gaiden. So.
But because the thing about it is that if you go through, a lot of people could be mad at me for that, and that's fine. But I'm just like, literally go through Metroid Other M, and then go through Ninja Gaiden. Compare how the camera problems that you had in in all three games, compared to look at the action that you do. If you're a person who doesn't memorize combos well enough, um other M made it simplified that this is what happens when the game is simplified and everybody can get in and enjoy. Even with DMC Devil May Cry, Ninja Theory made the game where it's easier to remember the combos, where you don't have to do much. You just got to change some things here and there, maybe adjust the controller, but you are able to get in compared to past Devil May Cry games. It's not a knock. It's not a knock against the old games, but I'm just like, sometimes people see things in a different way when they first release to what happens when things evolve in a in for a company in their design.
Hmm.
You know, and like I think when it came to Metroid Prime from Retro, so many people missed out on it because it was on the GameCube, but they didn't realize like this this game is gorgeous if you pay attention to details. And like, yeah, it plays different. It doesn't play as a traditional first person shooter, but the controls are so simple enough to get, you don't even think about it. It's just like you play for it, you learn it, and just like everything feels automatic.
Hmm. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, for sure. I oh no. I got disconnected. Oh, nope. Here we go. We're back. Sorry, everybody. Wow. No, I totally agree with you. I feel like Other M gets a bad rap, and I feel like Metroid Prime is a series that is, I mean, pardon the pun, but is primed for a comeback. I feel like, especially like, I know they're not exactly the same game, but like in terms of what they are, like if Halo Infinite is the game that people expect it to be or want it to be, I feel like there is a prime spot for Metroid Prime 4 to take that space as well, because there's so many military shooters out there, right?
Yes.
Titanfall kind of rides the line between military and Halo, right? Like I feel like it really skids that line. So like I feel like if you just want a space shooter, like a space shooter with puzzles and interesting mechanics and cool characters, Halo's kind of it. So Metroid could be that game, especially for people who don't own an Xbox or are going to play Halo Infinite on PC.
It's good that you mentioned Halo. Halo has fallen into the Metroid kind of way of things, because Halo, when it first started on Xbox, really blew the doors of online gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Really blew the doors of how to do a first person shooter on consoles. Oh, sorry about that.
Whoa. Ed did
it. And then you look at Halo 2 and Halo 3, and you just look at that trilogy and how people were involved and just really love Bungie with what they did. But then you go to Halo 4 and Halo 5, and it didn't get the same reaction with it. Even though it still feels like a Halo game, there's nothing there that's going to connect people to stick with that series.
Yeah.
And so, and it may be because it's done by a different team, but it's just like that feeling of Halo, kind of, it started big when it came out, and then it faded as time went along. Now, not to say that the Halo games are not bad. I love Halo 4 and I love Halo 5.
Mm-hmm.
The campaign for Halo 5 is the same thing as Other M, that you really don't, the story has its problems in a sense, but the gameplay is still good. The cutscenes are phenomenal. The cutscenes in Halo 5, it may be the best cutscenes I've seen in the Halo series.
Mm-hmm.
definitely with the definitely up res, definitely probably on 1x in HDR,
They're
like in high def, like dude,
they're definitely
they
up there with like, especially when Halo 2 got remade
yeah.
with the blur cutscenes. Like
Hmm.
Blur does just amazing work, right? Blur is
Yes.
they do the cinematics cutscenes in Destiny. I think they did those. They've done all of the Halo Wars games. They've done so much, and a Blur cutscene because it just looks like they're Microsoft printed money for them to make stuff. Like that's just how good they look. So
And they put in the work, and it's just like this could be a movie. Like, what am I seeing? As you know, I told you many a times, I would love Halo 5 to be a movie because the cutscenes, because they are phenomenal.
mhm.
Like like that intro to Halo 5, I literally had to put the controller down and be like, I really don't want to start the game after this cutscene. I would just want to watch the cutscene over and over again
Mhm.
because it's that good. It's
Mhm.
that detailed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's yeah, man. Metroid's going to be something special, and I think
Mhm.
adding this really great art team to it, and adding this really great staff to Retro and Nintendo as a whole, like Retro's really one of Nintendo's only Western studios, and their only major Western studio.
Yeah.
So show Nintendo kind of is, I don't want to say behind, but they're kind of the underdogs in the Western developed game space, right? Like I feel like Zelda took a step in that direction in terms of Western RPG type stuff. Uh, I know it's not exactly an RPG, but there's some RPG elements in it. But I want to see what Japan thinks a Western first person shooter can feel like, and we've seen bits and pieces of it, especially in Echoes, which was the second game, uh, in that multiplayer mode, which was okay. It was fine.
It's fine. Yeah.
Of course, they were competing with Halo 2 at the time, and that was, let's be fair, Halo 2's online multiplayer was better. So,
Well, yeah, and you kind of got to think that that Metroid has always been a single player experience.
right.
That's always been their journey. So really incorporating multiplayer was more of how do we get into that multiplayer space, even though this series is not known for that
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think Metroid has a place in this space, and
Hmm.
I'm really excited to see what's happening. I do hope we get an HD remaster, though. I still think it's coming, but I still think they're holding on to it till closer to release
To release.
of this what seems to be a massive, massive, massive game. So yeah, man, Metroid Prime's coming. I think it's going to be a great one. I hope and really, really hope that people take the time to play it.
I, I, this game needs an art book for Metro Prime 4, and because I want to see how the world looks from the artists and stuff, but I kind of want to see. I kind of feel like they're coming together to give Samus new powers,
Hmm.
and I think what's going to really benefit all the new people in this team is that they're going to learn level design
Hmm.
on how connecting a level truly feels. Level design, traditional level design is different than a world that's connected.
Hmm.
Because with Metroid, you have to cut parts off of it
Hmm.
until later on,
Yeah.
because you want everything to be paced right and make people realize that no, go ahead and revisit this and see what happened if you did something with this item.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So I mean, I think Metroid is definitely an interesting, because they kind of have like this open floor plan for this now.
hmm
I mean, I feel like it's gonna feel similar enough to Prime and the Prime trilogy, but it's gonna feel so totally different and updated and just exactly where you want to see it go. So
pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And last but not least, because we didn't talk about, yeah, we talked about Xbox with Halo. Kind of, it kind of, in a sense, that's how Horizon Zero Dawn is. Horizon, I mean, no, a lot of people connected to Zelda, but like Horizon had some kind of Metroid aesthetic to it in a sense, and I feel like this same thing could also work for the rumored Fable. Like if Fable had some kind of Metroid aesthetic to it, I would love to take my character back through some dungeons and use the new powers to see what else did this dungeon have that I didn't pay attention to, whether
Yeah.
I beat it or not. Like I think that would be really cool for Fable.
Yeah. No, I do too. So, well, Ed, there isn't really that much news this week, really. I didn't know if you wanted to touch on anything else. Actually, there is one thing I do want to touch on. After 29 years of working at Game Informer, Andy McNamara is leaving, their editor in chief. So that's kind of as someone who's been a fan of Game Informer, I know I have my opinions on GameStop as a company, but um, I always felt like Game Informer and the magazine and their YouTube channel and just everything that they've done that way has always felt like a separate entity and just something really special, at least in my life. You know, Game Informer has been a big part of my life for a long time. I'm sad that he's leaving. I feel like he's been such an integral part of keeping that brand alive, you know. And it's just sad to see him step away. And I know it's probably not going to come out for a while, if at all, ever. But I want to know why he's leaving. Like, you stick it out for 29 years and you're just going to go do something else now. You know what I mean? Like, I get that 29 years at the same job is a long time. Right?
Yes.
Especially in a, you know, I know they do like their YouTube channel and the website, and they have a store and everything. Like, they definitely have other revenue streams, but working at a magazine that is, you know, in a world where digital is becoming more and more prominent, it's just sad, you know. Like it's sad, like, because I don't know, man. I just, when you'd walk into a Funko Land or a Babbage's and you'd pick up the Game Informer and just leaf through it, the one on the counter, while you're looking at used games, like it just I don't know. It just feels like a big part of that company is leaving, and it's, you know, I wish the best for him, because I think he says he's still going to be in the games industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder what that's going to look like for him.
So, two things. So, when he tweeted out, just keep looking at the space and everything, I had to go to work. And I got really scared because I'm like, please, Game Informer, don't close.
Yeah, that was my first thought. It was like they were all writing their goodbye letters because Game Informer was shutting down.
Because the thing about it is, like, I think once EGM and GMR and all of those magazines, once they started going away, and yeah, I had One Up and stuff. I'm just like, I miss having video game magazines because I do read a lot. I love the covers. I love, like, the work that they put in to make these magazines, and I just love having it, in case I'm going somewhere and there's no internet, or my phone has run out of battery and I gotta wait for something. I love, like, diving into a story and reading it from my magazine. And so, I feel like when I transitioned from EGM to Game Informer, and I was doing Game Informer while EGM was out, I just love seeing the different reviews and perspectives of games.
Yeah, I remember.
And it was just like,
oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, you said you were getting Game Informer while EGM was out. I remember I had it like spaced out where I would get one magazine a week. Like it would be like Nintendo Power, Game Informer, EGM, PlayStation magazine, and they would all just keep coming like a week after another. And I had it spaced out like that somehow. It just ended up being that way, and it was awesome.
Nice. Yes. And it's just like getting that latest magazine was like Christmas every time it came in. It was just like, yes, it's here. I get to read it and everything. Or when I see you with the Game Informer or see my friend with it, I'm like, oh, you got the new issue? Did you read this? Did you read? Like, it's so good. So that was one thing. And then two, seeing that he was leaving, uh, it was kind of like it was kind of not heartbreaking, but it was kind of sad to be like, oh man, he's leaving, even though Andrew Reiner is taking over as editor in chief. He's been there longer as Andy McNamara. It's going to see that he did trust and put it in good leadership, so that is a great thing.
Yeah.
I really think that just because he's not going to be at that magazine, he wouldn't be at doing anything else. I could see him doing next year's PC gaming show. I could see him hosting like a direct thing. And yeah, some people might not think he's a good host and stuff, but I'm just like, he has played a lot of games and he's very
he's been around for a long time.
yes.
And I was listening to a Giant Bomb bombcast the other day. It was probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago at this point, and they were talking about like Andy and Jeff have been in the industry for like the longest out of everybody. They've been there since basically the early 90s. And they're like the old guard in the industry, and then it's weird when you see personalities that you love kind of leave the industry, and it's just, I don't know. I wish there was, I don't know. I know like the industry is more of a young person's game at this point, right? But I think as games grow and as the history of the industry is becoming older and stuff like that, like I think there's room for people in their 40s and even into their 50s to talk about games. Like there's an audience for that now. There's room for that.
I think, yeah, I think the younger generation need the older voice because they're experienced with games. They know what different games do and mean. And because the thing about it is that as older gamers as us, we want to hear young voices. We want to see what they think of games, how they approach them, like writing about them, reviewing. Like we want to see more of that, and there's no visibility for that. They have a platform, but a lot of younger people like to watch Twitch. Okay, cool. You like to watch Twitch. What do you like to do as a gamer? And how can you convey what you love to do about that to the older crowd who should be able to watch this? If you can't do that, it gets really hard to see what's going to happen to the future of games and games journalism when the older crowd is not there to provide that voice. And I want to see younger gamers be almost like the next Dan Shu from EGM or Andy McNamara or the person from GamePro. Like I want to see all of that to see what do you guys think of games, and what did it take for you to break out into other games to get some writing, some video content, or podcasting and stuff? Because it's just like, yeah, you like to watch and do Fortnite, but what about you playing a Japanese game or a European game or indies and or casual games? What do you think about themes and games and stuff like that? We as older gamers, we know all of that stuff because we have played that for years. We have gained that experience and we're still experiencing that. We want to see what you guys as younger content creators and journalists, what are your words? What are your feelings? That's what I want to see.
Yeah. I think it's important. I think the history and the people who have stories to tell, it's important. So, Yeah, so I mean, that's I'm sad that he's leaving, but there's
Same.
obviously Andy Reiner's been there just as long, and he's a great leader for that team, and they still have a great team there, obviously, and I'm really selfishly interested to see who's going to host their podcast now. It's probably going to be what the video producers, Leo
Yeah.
and Alex or whatever. So
It may be more Alex than Leo. Because I don't see Leo do a lot of stuff.
yeah, I wonder. We'll see. I guess we'll see. So, but I think that's gonna kind of do it for this mini-ish block episode of Pow Block. Again, kind of seeing if we can have a more casual type of podcast. I really liked talking about Metroid tonight, Ed. I really enjoyed talking about other things. I just like talking to you and Jesse, and I kind of miss that because I haven't. We've been doing so much lately, and we haven't really been doing a lot with each other, to be honest. And I miss it. I love what we're doing. Don't get me wrong. I love what we're doing with the 1v1s and reaching out and having these panels and doing all these different things in the podcast space. But I miss just talking to you guys, kind of like the old days. I miss it. So, but it's, I love Boss Rush. I love what we're doing. And, with our new schedule kind of starting next week, again, we'll announce the schedule on all the other shows as well. But, yeah, I'm very proud of what we're doing. I'm proud of this show in particular. I'm proud of you, Ed, for, being you and being my friend and hanging out and talking with me and everything. So, but we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for listening to Nintendo Pow Block. If you're watching live, you can stay tuned for some streaming. If not, you can catch the show now on Mondays on your podcast service of choice. Remember to rate and review. You can catch it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BossRushGames and BossRushGames.com. Also, starting with the next round of episodes. So, this is 202. So 203 of this show in that week's worth of shows. Pod clips are coming back. I know people have been wondering where they've been. Time has prevented me from doing that. So pod clips are going to start rolling back out too. So look out for that. I do have some things that I'm writing that will be going up in the next week or so. I hope they are done. I'm just kind of looking them over, and I'm, I feel bad that, we invited Celeste on one show and then a couple shows, and then she started editing everybody's work. I feel kind of bad. I don't lie. But I appreciate her taking the time to do that.
Thank you, Celeste. Which I gotta still finish the other blog.
Yeah. You can also follow Boss Rush Games Live on Twitch. Ed, we need to look into this Facebook gaming stuff. I want to see. I'm interested. I'm also scared of it, but we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak to Wednesday when I get a chance, and just have a 1-on-1 with him. Not a 1v1.
You should do a 1v1 with him. You should do a 1v1 with everybody we just had on the panel. By the way,
cover Jason, Ron, and Wednesday.
Please do one with all them. Please, I will give you $1 and a chicken sandwich.
Spicy chicken.
Yeah. Anyways, Ed, where can we find you? Ed?
Yeah, I'm here. You froze.
Oh.
Skype.
Oh, stupid Skype. Where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at that retro code. You guys can check Option Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps. I do have some writing up on BossRushGames.com. I still got to change the header.
I did already. I fixed it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
I told you I would do it. I told you I was going to fight you, but I would do it.
I do have one up there that talks about our motto, play video games, be better, and addresses some things that I hope that you guys just like really read and take to heart because it really Boss Rush means a lot to me, just like it means everything to everybody else. And we talk about having a positive space and a positive platform, and I hope we are working to keep that happening. And if not, we have ways that you guys can communicate to us, and just talk to us and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Um, so yeah, you guys could read that, and then I have another blog that's coming soon. And like I said, the Last of Us review, and also everybody check out World 11 podcast on Podbean. Gotta shout them out too because the same way with Boss Rush, like defending my crew, I would defend those guys too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
'cause I mean,
I've been meaning to reach out to Larry for some time. So, hey, Todd's in the chat. Hey, Todd.
hey Todd.
So, yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. You can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Corey HD on Twitch. You can also find both of us on a plethora of content on bossrushgames.com. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for Nintendo Pow Block. Thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. Remember, play games, be better. Please be better, people. There's a lot of things going on out there right now, and just be better. So, we will see you on our new time next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Woohoo! Bye, everybody.